Did I tell you how fucking horrible it was?
What was?
Solitary confinement.
Thank you very much for joining us for one more round, and welcome back to another episode of Film Club. We are back for Film Club.
Yeah.
What the hell? That's so weird. We've been away for like 3 weeks. We haven't done one of these for 3 weeks, and it's kind of weird getting back into the rhythm of it.
Yeah, I've lost everything, so...
But we'll push on. So, every single week in Film Club, we invite you guys at home along to watch a film with us. This week.
I just want to point out something. Every time he bangs the table, there's a different sound to it now because of something that happened.
Because of the ring?
Yeah.
Oh, can I do...
See, you know what I mean? Like, if I go, and you do it. There, it's got like a ping to it.
Can I do... Have you seen House Cards, haven't you?
Yeah. Oh, you
Kevin Spacey goes.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey.
It could be your thing. So this week...
This week we've been watching...
You do it, you ring, so we get the both timbres.
Silver Linings Playbook. And just before we move on, because I realise I haven't done this for 3 weeks, totally screwed up the order. I'm one of your hosts, Andy Harrison. Tim Wright, as always, you're the host, Andy Donaldson.
I do. So, Silver Linings Playbook's about a guy called Pat who has come out of an institution for mental health, and he's not over his wife, and there was a situation that happened, and it's about him getting back to normal. Wins his wife back, but then he's introduced to a girl called Tiffany who has her own mental issues, and it's kind of a film about their relation, like their soon-to-be relationship building up, and the people around them. And there's not much to really say besides it's like a part of his life, a snapshot of an integral moment of Pat and Tiffany's life, of their life. It was quite cool. I really enjoyed it.
You recommended this.
Yeah.
Had you seen it before?
Yeah, twice.
So why'd you recommend it?
Because we're on about Bradley Cooper from Guardians, and it just came out of the blue because you know what we're on about. And I thought, you know what, Silver Linings Playbook is a great film, and it's got Jennifer Lawrence in it, and we've touched upon her only once when she played a little side character in Like Crazy.
Yeah,
we did for episode God knows 7, I'm going to guess. Yeah, and it was. I thought, you know what, let's go and watch it. I thought it was a really good film, and why was it good?
Well, this for her, for just Jennifer Lawrence, before we move on. This is always, like, I've always heard this in passing as being mentioned as Jennifer Lawrence's, like, first film. Like, first major role in a film. Is that true?
I don't know.
I'm just going to very quick look up because, like, it's one of those things where people always say, like, Jennifer Lawrence, her path to stardom starts at Silver Linings Playbook.
Do they?
And I don't know why, because I'm pretty sure she was in stuff before this.
She could well have been, like, maybe it wasn't as big a role sort of thing.
Yeah.
So...
What do you think of her performance in it? Or maybe it's a performance, maybe that's what it is, but what do you think of it?
I thought it was superb, both of them. I thought they were both absolutely fantastic. If we go about her, I loved it. I loved how she's like, I think as her, as an actress, she's got that kind of defining quality about her when she's really good at being abrupt.
Yes, yeah.
And like, she's got that good growl in her voice that really powers that emotion through. She's also exceptionally attractive. Like, there's parts where they're together. I know, but like, where they're dancing together, the way she's looking at him, and it's just like, you see, there's that like sexiness to her. There's there's that, well, at least in the character of Tiffany, there's that sexiness. There's that like kind of, what's the word when you're vulnerability. Sorry, to her. Yeah. There's the power behind her when she's passionate. She really carries a lot of emotions into that character, and she does it exceptionally well. There's just really good parts throughout the film. I thought she really held herself. And then, if you look at Bradley Cooper, he was amazing as well. What?
Right, not to derail you. So I'm looking at Jennifer Lawrence's IMDb page right now. Bunch of TV stuff, like fair enough, whatever. There's something called Garden Party, Poker House, Burning Plane.
Winter's Bone.
Winter's Bone?
Yeah, that's supposed to be class.
And then Like Crazy?
Yeah.
Beaver. X-Men First Class.
Fuck off, that was
before...
Hunger Games?
Hunger Games.
Before Silver Linings?
Before Silver Linings Playbook.
Well, I always thought the one that got into popularity was Hunger Games.
Yeah, like, I knew the Hunger Games was like her big first, like, lead role, huge sort of franchise. But why have I heard from countless people that Silver Linings Playbook was like one of her first films?
Maybe it was to prove that she's not just Katniss and she's not just, what's the X-Men character called? Mystique. That she's more than that. And I thought, Silver Linings for me is one of her favourite performances.
Yeah, I mean, this is her, like, Because you're right.
American Hustle as well.
You actually said it, you nailed it on the head earlier. Actually, when you said she does like that abruptness really well, and that's like what her character is in this. When she turns up, and when she first starts being really abrupt with people, I was a little bit like, oh, Jennifer Lawrence doing Jennifer Lawrence's thing. But then as you actually watch the character, it actually becomes probably way more nuanced than any other character she's done, because you start to realize that a lot of that abruptness comes from some sort of mental health issue.
Yeah.
Like everyone in this film has some sort of mental health issue going on.
They really do.
Not necessarily like a diagnosed one, not necessarily a huge one, but like everyone's got something going on.
Yeah.
And the way in which they all play it is so understated as well.
So I'd like to come on to that in a bit.
Okay.
But I'd like you tell me what you thought of Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper.
I don't want to go over him.
I fucking love this performance from Bradley Cooper.
In comparison, we did like Guardians last week, and it was just like that was a huge performance for him.
Yeah, but he's all, and like Guardians, like we said last week,
You wouldn't think it was him.
Yeah, you don't think it's him. The performance is great, but like you kind of understand where it comes from as well. Like he did things like The Hangover. That was another huge like comedy role. He's always done comedy really well.
And he did something like Limitless, where he's kind of a bit serious in it.
Yeah,
and like
this is him just kind of being like a little odd, a little strange.
I think it shows
like,
his versatility.
But yeah, like so enjoyable, and just holds this film so well.
It's amazing because what this film has, it doesn't have any like really high points, really low points. It's just got this film where you want to follow the characters because they're not only interesting, but they're also so genuine.
Yeah. Like, I know we talked about, I can't remember the lady's name who casts for Marvel.
Oh, yeah, Sarah.
Last week. She does an amazing job casting, like Guardians of the Galaxy, amazing casting. But the casting here...
Well, I was scooting down on Wiki to look at the music part because I think this film's got some good music, which I'll come on to. It was saying that a few other people... What did it say? It said... I'll just quickly jump back up. It said that Vince Vaughn and another woman were originally due to be set up for the role.
Oh.
Casting. Zooey Deschanel and Vince Vaughn. Then as I was scrolling down further, I just saw a name. It said Anne Hathaway was cast as Tiffany, but due to scheduling conflicts.
Thank God.
I love Anne Hathaway. Yeah, thank God that they kept these guys. By the way, on a side note, Vince Vaughn, Hacksaw Ridge, class, well played.
Great performance from him.
Yeah, I like Vince Vaughn. So I'll jump back down where I was. Sorry about that. So what you said about the dealing with mental health issues,
Yep.
It really did well.
Yeah.
I can't say, as far as I know, I've had bipolar, but I've spoken to a lot of people in my job who are bipolar. There's a common misconception in the sense that they're always angry. They're always really happy or really angry. It's not the case. It's like, majority of the time, you fall into a deep pit of recession, and then you get like... That's what people have told me, and that's kind of what I gathered from some of the calls with them. And it was really nice to see that. It was really nice to see a really good way of it being portrayed that wasn't being like, oh, this is bad.
Yeah.
Whereas I've heard a couple of bad things about... I haven't seen it, so I can't say. I've only heard bad things about people who know bipolar and know kind of what it's about. And the new film that was M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, yeah, Split.
Yeah, and that's apparently bipolar.
So that's perfect. The thing I love about both these characters, but obviously primarily
Pat and Silver Linings.
Pat, is that he's bipolar. And okay, maybe there's a definition of him being bipolar as his character, but like his character isn't just he's bipolar.
He's got many
something
issues.
Something like Split was all about the fact that this guy has split personalities.
Oh, is it split personality? Sorry, yeah.
So here they wrote a character who is also bipolar.
Yeah. I think you got it right. It's not about being bipolar. It's about a character who has this that causes him a couple of problems in life, but ultimately it betters his life. Yeah. The reason it betters his life is the film says silver linings. Yeah. Silver linings, man. Excelsior.
Excelsior.
No, and you look at like De Niro, who's OCD, then you realise that why Pat has had like the kind of fallen down the path he's gone to. Mental illness is a disease in some sense, but you might have had like some part of how Pat became Pat and had to be institutionalised was maybe due to his dad, and he was like, you have to do this certain way. It's your fault, sort of thing.
It's like we get all these little hints that his dad, dad isn't just like slightly OCD. Dad's got some real issues. Oh, like he got banned from the stadium. Yeah. All this stuff that like, and by the way, on the subject of great casting, and Robert De Niro is awesome. This is Robert De Niro doing like that brilliant late in his life Robert De Niro, where he's like the father or the grandfather, but like he plays that kind of lovable Italian guy who's got like kind of underlying aggressive issues. Yeah.
There was a really good part when he's just finished dancing, he leaves Tiffany to go to his ex-wife, and then he comes back, and then De Niro, I can't remember the name. Oh, he's called Pat as well. He's Pat Senior, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Or Patrice or something like that. Patricio, as his wife calls him at one point.
Well remembered.
And he goes, "There's not many things in life, but that your ex-wife, she doesn't love you the same way. Go after her."
Yeah.
And he had this moment. He goes, and it was actually weirdly enough. When I watched this film again, it was. I actually like kind of saw a lot in this film than I've seen previous times. I probably watched it when I was a bit tired. Watched it this morning. I was bright and fresh, and I was like, I'm going to enjoy this because I always do. It's a great film. And it's like that part where he reads the letter, he realises it's her. Then you see how he's like, everything that she's doing, he's like led her on. I know it kind of explains in the end of the film. I was probably tired when I watched the end of the film the previous 2 times. But I was just like, since he looked at the letter, he turned around and looked at her. He looks at her in a way as if to say, you bitch, you betrayed me. But instead he doesn't. He finds a silver lining for like what the film is. Like, oh my God, I think I love her.
Yeah.
We said a week ago. Then you see all that last 30-minute section is him knowing that she wrote the letter and yet he still loves her. Anyway, and that you see that moment where he knows his dad's right and he loves how his dad's saying the same thing and he goes, I love you, Dad, and kisses him. And I thought, you know what, fucking great chemistry between Cooper and Tiffany, not just them two, but Cooper and De Niro, and even Tiffany, Jennifer Lawrence and De Niro, when she's like, a great scene, by the way. There's a really good scene where she comes in and she goes, yeah, we don't, she's actually being arrested after the fights at the game.
Oh, yeah.
And De Niro's going, I'll say De Niro instead of Patrick Jr., Senior, just not to make it confusing. De Niro's just like, yeah, it's you. Ever since you come in life, you like this. And she goes, do you want to talk about it? Do you want to talk about it? And she goes all these kind of games where he was with them, like this. And what's really good, right?
She dominates that scene.
She does. And what's really cool about it, and credit to Russell T Davies. Is it Russell T Davies? Or...
The writer?
No, I'm on about the fucking Doctor Who guy, aren't I?
Yeah. Who are you talking about?
The director of this, David O. Russell.
David O. Russell.
Sorry, Russell T Davies. David O. Russell. You got to give him credit for the director in this. So what he does is, again, I'm not really a camera kind of guy. There's some really good parts where it focuses on Tiffany, and you hear guys in the background talking. Like you see Eli. I should know the actor's name. Eli from Boardwalk, who's his brother, and you've got Pat as well. And there's a really good part where she first says the game, and you look at Bradley Cooper in the background, he kind of like goes like, he looks at Eli, it looks like something that happened offset. There's really, really kind of good genuineness in that scene, but it focuses in, the camera focuses on Lawrence, and later on it goes to De Niro.
Yeah.
Then you hear Lawrence, it doesn't cut back to her, which she says, yeah, stays in him, you hear her say, yeah, and I thought it was amazing. It's quite rare that I think when I watch a film, a kind of modernish film, it's quite rare to see that kind of like disregard of having to focus on someone because they say something.
It's a great way of showing like the power control in any scene, like showing who's in control and who at what particular moment in the scene, just by cutting it in that particular way.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool.
On the subject of camera work as well, I love the way this is like, you've got somebody who is kind of not necessarily mentally unhinged, but something a little bit wobbly about them, like they're medicated, they've got these issues they're dealing with, there's something kind of like uneasy about their nature.
Is that with the camera where it's going like that?
Yeah, how do you portray that? Let's shoot
where
the majority of the film all handheld. All like half this film is shot handheld, and it's gorgeous, and it adds to getting you to connect to this character, and also connect to the way he's feeling. Like
his frame of
there's
mind.
often times where like what would be a very slick camera move is instead kind of a wobbly like walk forward.
But it works, just like the wobbliness in life works. It's
absolutely works.
I never thought about that, but yeah, well, I'm glad you said that. Now, going back to that previous scene, there's a really, 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 really horrible bit in it.
Which scene are we talking about?
Where Jennifer Lawrence owns the scene, she's on about the matches. Cooper goes to her, how do you know that? I fucking hate this. I watched it, I was like, oh God, it's so cringeworthy. I did my research.
Oh my God, no, I fucking hated that.
I could do it. And it's Budweiser, it's like quite apparent it's Budweiser, it's like product placement. I was just like, if they got rid of that, that would have been a fucking incredible scene.
Yep.
But for me, it's like 99%.
Yep.
But that 1% was just like, ah.
That's horrible, isn't it?
It's like, and she does later on when she's at the bar, and he goes, you want another drink? She just goes, yep. Like that. And which is, cool. That's better. That kind of shows her as a character. She's confident.
That beer is
I did my research and it goes around.
It's too cocky. It's too cheesy.
I couldn't do that.
The other big issue for me for this film was the slight plot contrivance where she goes, I'm going to help you. I'm going to give you the letter. I'm going to give the letter to Vicky. And I'm only going to do it if you give me something in return. And she goes, I know there's this dancing thing coming up. And she's like, I'll give you the letter to Vicky if you help me do the dancing things. Like, fucking plot contrivance. Like, just to make these two have something to do together.
Yeah, I guess they could have gone a better way about it, because she says she's going to do it anyway, but then she says, I can't do it if I don't have a partner. It's just like, well, how are you going to do it in the first place?
It's just like that scene where they tell each other that. Just feels like a real heavy sort of like plot contrivance.
Sorry,
we are currently getting waved at by people. We have a little window like behind the camera, and currently we're getting waved at by a few people. So hello.
So yeah, there's that. But no, besides that, great scene, great film. The music was great throughout.
The music is great throughout, and
I know.
The big thing that won me over.
Yeah.
There's a scene, and I can't believe you kept quiet about this. There's a scene
I really want to tell you early on,
which is cut. There's a little montage sequence, which is
it where they're dancing?
Where they're dancing,
yeah,
to Bob Dylan's
and Johnny Cash.
Yeah. So it's Bob Dylan's North Country Girl, or Country from the North.
Yeah. Girl from North Country.
Girl from North Country.
Which is Bob Dylan featuring Johnny Cash.
Yeah, it's Dylan's thing where
and he has a massive thing for Dylan.
With
I love Cash. And I was just like, I didn't even know that, you know.
Oh, it's amazing as well.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed
There's a point
that.
at which this film went from being like, oh, this is really good, and like really enjoyable, to
oh. Yeah. What was that scene? I was listening to it and I was thinking, oh shit, that sounds like Johnny Cash, and I've never heard this song before. Like, who was that singing with him? That sounds like Dylan. Anyway, I went on Dimmer's Future and I said, Andy's going to fucking love me. No, it was good.
So
it was really good. And there's some really good parts where they have, like, they kind of like, they put emphasis on, I don't think the Sex Pistols are in it, but they say, like, when he's on about it in his iPod, oh, you got Sex Pistols in there. But if you look at the dance at the end, I don't know who it is, but you have that really good one where they're dancing away. It's got that kind of punkiness about it.
Yes, yeah.
They've got a good range of, music. And again,
is it White Stripes?
Could well be.
It
could be. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Side note, I fucking love the thing where like they go around the house with his friend, and they're showing off the house, and they're talking about, it's amazing, we've got these little ports in every room where we can put an iPod in. Yeah. I'm like, oh god, like, can you imagine buying a house where you have iPod ports? Like, bear in mind, these are old gen iPods. You can't like plug an iPhone in that now.
Have you heard about this thing? I was laughing at Ben when we were on holiday. We went to a hotel, and there was this alarm clock at one of the things. I think it was at Pismo Beach, and it was this little alarm clock, lovely little thing, and it had a speaker, and you put an iPod in it. And I laughed. Ben goes, "Oh, it's the old iPod dock, isn't it? Like the previous before the 5." I went, "Yeah." I said, there was a massive thing about, I can't remember what hotel chain it was, but there's a hotel chain that upgraded all, like, throughout worldwide hotels with the iPhone connector. Just before Apple changed it to the new iPod, they were talking like months away. Difference.
God, that's so funny.
I know. So,
I don't know. Like, it'd be interesting to know which it is, because I've been in hotels where like they do have that old iPod dock on clocks or something.
Yeah.
So
it's like that. I mean, the best thing to do is just USB it. Right. There's something else I want to talk about in this film.
Go on.
And I completely forgot.
Oh no.
I know. Okay. Yeah, it's actually in the name. So I love the whole idea of silver linings. If you think about the actual plot of the story, it's actually a screenplay based off a book. And there's a lot of things I took for this film is a lot of these things, the film speaks the truth in terms of taking silver linings. Like, you've looked at all the crap that they had, and it's just like, well, you could turn it one way, you could turn it the other. And like, say, Excelsior. Because it's silver linings, man. No, I think it speaks to you. Like, you can see it as a drama, you can see it as a film, you can see it as a great performance, great adaptation, you can see it as a good score. But the actual feel of the film, the whole thing behind the film, I think there's a lot to take from it.
Yeah, great message.
Yeah.
And I think that message is also partly what endears you so much to Bradley Cooper's character, because he, from the get-go, kind of embodies that.
There's an exceptional scene where he shows that, where he's speaking to his brother, and his brother's like, there's a few times where a lot of people are like, I want to visit in a hospital boat, and his brother's like, I'm getting married, I'm sorry, just been engaged, I'm getting a new house, and you haven't, you just lost your job, I've just got a better position. And Bradley Cooper just looks at him, he looked like he's like pissed off, he just goes, as my good friend Danny would say, I love you for who you are, something like that.
Yeah.
I love you as you are, brother, sort of thing. And it's just like, oh man, I was just like, oh man, good moment.
It's so good. And like, before we wrap this up, there's one scene I want to make sure gets put down here. It's the bit where Jennifer Lawrence, they're out on the date, or like after the non-date, and she pushes him too far.
Oh, you see him like going at that, like
and he tries so hard not to do anything, and the police come over and like get involved, and then you see that moment where she realizes that she has caused something really bad and gets involved to try and help him out again.
Or like that scene, where that's that scene where she helps him breathe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I think that song's on or something.
Yeah.
And
is the song actually on? I can't remember if the song's actually on.
I can't remember.
Or because she tells him the song's not playing and it slowly fades out.
Oh, and credit to the psychiatrist as well. I thought it was a lovely little scene. It seems that Eagles claim he's like, let's fuck these. Oh,
and then he turns up at his house later on as well. With being arrested.
I like how the dance as well. He's at the dance.
Yeah.
No, there's just to clarify why this is such the football is such a big thing, and the bets are on. Is the Eagles fans, Philadelphia Eagles, and there's this stupidly huge rivalry with the Dallas Cowboys, similar to Newcastle and Sunderland. Like that's how big the rivalry is, if not bigger. So it's like quite a big thing. So when they're having these bets on, you could argue, oh, just betting over NFL, but it's actually quite a big thing, and people get a lot more aggressive over this. So it's quite cool inclusion.
There was that kind of awkward scene as well, where like they're doing all the betting after they've been arrested, and like I couldn't quite follow what the hell they were betting.
I want to say, can someone explain
what.
to me what parlor is?
And there was that slight bit of like awkward dialogue where it's like, can someone explain this? And they just explain what the hell's happened. Like it's necessary.
I thought it was cool. I quite liked how they did it.
It kind of works.
I liked how they did that. But yeah, it is what it is.
So there's Silver Linings Playbook.
Great film. Please watch it if you haven't already watched it.
Yeah, you can let us know in the comments below what you thought of Silver Linings Playbook, or you can hit us up on Twitter as well. But next week we're doing fucking hell. We're doing a very, very special episode next week. I feel it's very special anyway because this is one of your top 10.
Oh, well, we didn't decide to do stuff that came out of nothing. We decided like, oh shit, don't know what to do. So I was just like, well, let's just do one of our top 10s finally. So this is always been in the top 10, but I'm going to revisit again to see why it's on one. And part of that was probably due to watching this and like the mental institution kind of parts. The other was maybe going to visit Alcatraz and feel like a prison. I was thinking, anyway, one who flew over the cuckoo's nest. Jack Nicholson.
Butchered.
Or One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, isn't it? Sorry.
We've only been back for a little while. We're still very, very jet lagged.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm a bit more tired now he said that.
Yeah. So you can join us next week for One Flew Over Oh my God,
it is the
hard.
Cuckoo's Nest.
Why is it so hard?
It's because it's like grammatically it's weird. Instead of the one who flew, it's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
You can join us next week for One Flew
Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
It's the one, isn't it? No, it's one.
I think it's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Do you know what? We're ending the episode here. Bye.
I'm sure it's One Flew.